Professor here, and this is Robot Eye Theater. Hmm. Says here if I pre-order DC Universe Online, they'll send me a beta key to test the game. Oh, and I get a bonus item for pre-ordering too. That doesn't sound like a bad deal. Sign me up. There. Wait. I'll receive the beta key on January 4th. The game's being released on the 11th. That's alright. Wait a minute. January 4th's a few weeks away. What am I going to do in the meantime? Well, I was going to fix that talkie toaster. They certainly don't make sonic welders the way they used to. I spilled iced tea all over the positronic neural net. It's never going to be a working toaster ever again. It's like wet spaghetti. It's all stringy and messy now. Oh, what am I going to do with it? January 4th at last. All right, let's go get that beta key. Let's see. No beta key yet. They're on the other coast in a different time zone. Maybe they slept in. We'll give it a few more minutes. Trafalgar Square. Wake up. Oh, it's already after midnight. It's January 5th already. I missed a whole day of beta testing. Let me go get my beta key at least. Still no beta key. Well, they do have that Twitter site for updates. Let me check that. Oh, there's an update here. Let's see. It says that beta testing will end on January 5th, which is today. Wait a minute. The beta keys for pre-order were being given out on January 4th. That's only 24 hours. I still don't have my beta key. Oh, what the heck. MMO launch day can be a terrifying and horrendous experience for both players and for developers. It can pretty much scar you for life. It can instantly ruin a game's reputation or destroy any chance that a game ever has of building a successful subscriber base to help support it. Now, the launch day for DC Universe Online went fairly smoothly. Now, it wasn't flawless by any means of the imagination, but it was one of the best launches in recent memory. And I have to give Sony Online Entertainment credit. They delayed the launch of this game by 3 months, which probably cost them a few pre-orders, but in the long run probably helped strengthen the game. Alright, the tank has aggro. All the ads are crowd controlled. We're going to be in phase 2, looks like, for the next 10 minutes of this boss battle. Let's see, auto attack. I'm going to go make myself something to eat. Come on! Oh, no, you don't, Grodd. You won't crush my mind! DC Universe Online is a very action-oriented MMO. You're going to be constantly moving around, pulling off combos, and activating powers. Now, the great thing is, this game can be played on traditional keyboard and mouse, on a controller, or you can actually play using all three at the same time and switch between them on the fly without any delays. And combat is far from boring. You're going to be thinking about every little move you make because you can't just charge in just because you're a superhero. Because trust me, the difficulty level in this game is set a lot higher than most MMO players are used to. And if you just charge in blindly, you're going to get your butt handed to you on a silver platter. And you know what? I kind of like the fact that the game's a little more difficult. Now, I'm sure they're going to fine-tune the difficulty as time goes on over the next few months, but it's quite nice to have a game that's not just handed to me. But it's not so difficult where I want to throw my controller at the monitor either. The Chinese have the Great Wall of China, and developers have the Great Wall of Text. How many times have you gone into an MMO, walked up to a quest giver, and then BAM! Hit right in the face with a huge wall of text, Text you're never going to read because it's so bland, there's so much of it, and all you're going to do is look for those key components. What do I need to accomplish to finish the quest? And that's all you worry about. Well, it's a little bit different in DC Universe Online. You see, the quest givers are actually voiced over, and they're polite, which was a nice change of pace. I mean, how many times in an MMO have you gone up to a quest giver and the first thing out of their mouth is, "What do you want?" or something else? You're treated like the scum of the earth, even if you just saved their entire village. Well, it's different in DC Universe Online. And another nice thing, even the little minor thugs have some voiceovers. It might only be a simple sentence or two, but I'll tell you what, I was walking down the street and I was passing by some magic-based thugs, and one of them screamed out, "All your souls are belong to us." I laughed out loud so hard when that happened.
All your faith, all your faith, are belong to us.
During character creation, you're actually going to get to choose a movement power right at the beginning. You know, you don't have to get to level 5, 10, 15, or 20. You're going to have them right at the start. You're going to be able to choose from flight, which is your basic Superman type movement. You're going to fly up and over buildings, levitate, fly under bridges, fly around obstacles. Your other two choices are acrobatics. Think more like Batman and Robin or Spider-Man. You're going to be able to scale walls, scale telephone poles, fences. You're going to be able to glide from building to building. And your final power choice is super speed. You're going to be moving so fast with super speed that you'll be able to run right on water, run right up the sides of buildings, over the top, and back down the other side. Nothing is going to stand in your way. And because of how these powers work, choosing one or the other for style purposes isn't going to gimp your character at all. Now, the other thing is, there's no falling damage in DC Universe Online, so you don't have to worry that you're going to miss a leap or that you're going to run right off of something high, because you're just going to land safely on the ground. So what's the epic storyline on DC Universe Online? Well, it seems in the future that the Legion of Doom has finally at last been able to defeat the Justice League of America, only to have Lex Luthor's moment of victory snatched away when an invasion force led by Brainiac shows up. In this Brainiac apocalypse, Lex Luthor is one of the few survivors, and he escapes into the past with exobytes, which are little nanobots that have the stored powers of Earth's future heroes on them. He releases these exobytes into the atmosphere, suddenly creating millions of new heroes and villains, which he asks Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman to train, so that Earth will be prepared and humanity can survive the Brainiac apocalypse. A majority of the game takes place in either Gotham City or Metropolis City, and you'll be going back and forth between them, along with some other instanced areas. Now, there's no day or night cycle in this game, which is a little strange, so Gotham City is always dark, and it's always sunny in Metropolis. The environmental artists have done a great job representing both Gotham and Metropolis. In fact, I've had a lot of fun just running around the city. I don't even have to be fighting villains or thugs to have fun in this game. When's the last time travel was fun in a game? Oh, did I say fighting villains and thugs? Because you're not forced to play a hero in DC Universe Online. You can actually work with the forces of the darkness, including being mentored by Lex Luthor, the Joker, or Cersei the Sorceress. Now, this game has both player versus enemy and player versus player servers, and you can make up characters for either one. And how's the community so far? Well, it's a little early to tell, but so far the community seems very good overall. In fact, when I was on the player versus player server, there were 5 villains guarding a respawn point, and a bunch of the heroes got together and said, "Let's fight them back." That was a great random moment, but this seems like it's going to have a very strong community. So why play a superhero MMO, you ask? Well, how otherwise would people know that you are mighty? what are the downsides of this game? Using a control pad is almost a requirement in this game, and on the PC version at launch, the controls were broken. The right analog stick, which controls the direction you're looking and flying, had its axis reversed, and all the other buttons were mismapped. It took the community working together to find a solution to this problem with the controls, because the problem wasn't even acknowledged on the support forums by Sony. So I'm actually going to put the solution to this problem in the video a little later. The character creation process was a little strange, and I had a little bit of trouble navigating the menus the first few times. You have three basic body types: small, medium, and large. The small is more like Harley Quinn, the medium is kind of Joker sized, while the large is Superman sized, so you're not going to be making any big bulky Hulk-like characters up in DC Universe Online. The other problem is, although you get a lot of options for uniforms, and the color schemes in uniforms are probably the best I've seen in a superhero MMO, you don't have a lot of options to change your face. You're going to be using basically facial hair or gear, such as glasses, goggles, and masks to change the way your character's face looks. It's a little hard to plan for leveling, as the skills and powers have very limited descriptions that really don't list how much damage they do, what their induction times are, or what their cooldowns are. So it can be a little difficult until you actually use a power to say, hey, this is a power I want for my character. It's 2011. This is an MMO. The chat system should have been one of the top priorities in this game, and the chat system is very lacking. It's very awkward to get into, and not the easiest to use. This is something that the developers can probably refine in the months to come, but it's really something that should have been good to go on day one. And we have the second Sony MMO that does not have an auction house. Players grab things, they want to sell them, they don't want to sit and chat all day, they just want to put it up on the auction house. Some people even like to play the auction house. But you won't find an auction house here in DC Universe Online. The other thing you won't find, and actually it doesn't bother me, but it bothers a lot in the community, is there's no crafting yet. And I find that crafting is just a boring time sink in most games. But there are some people who really look forward to crafting, and you're not going to find any crafting in the game yet. Overall, the final score for DC Universe Online is 8 out of 10. It still has some growing pains, but overall, it's still a pretty fun game. All the developers have to do is improve the social interaction and clean up the skill descriptions. You're going to have a lot of fun in this game. Like I said, I even enjoy just running around, running up and over buildings. So I highly recommend this game. And that's DC Universe Online in a nutshell. Till next, folks, Professor here for Robot Eye Theater, signing off. I almost forgot, I still have to claim my pre-order item, Amazonian Gauntlets from Amazon.com. It's actually pretty clever wordplay on their part. Let's see, it says that I can't receive my item until 3 days until after launch. What? Why? Why?